1, 2, yes, your mama, your mama.
Opinions expressed are those of the show hosts, not WSTU or Little Dog Media Group, LLC. Any reproduction or reuse of this program without the written consent of WSTU or Little Dog Media Group, LLC is strictly prohibited. Advisory services offered through Blackridge Asset Management, LLC, a registered investment advisor. Securities are offered through Peak Brokerage Services, LLC, member FINRA SIPC. Blackridge Asset Management, LLC, and Artache Financial Group are separate and independent entities from Peak Brokerage Services, LLC. Live from the heart of the Treasure Coast, it's time for Fridays at 5, the weekend warm-up that mixes local happenings, entertainment buzz, and just the right dose of laughs. Whether you're stuck in traffic or sliding into the weekend, this is your weekly pit stop for good vibes, great guests, and everything going on in Martin County and beyond. This is Fridays at 5 with Denny Artache.
Happy hour to all those listening. And, if you're a duck, you love this weather because it's pretty wet outside. It's like a Bela Lugosi movie in certain parts. And Ray Thomas, you did the backstroke going into the station today. I saw that.
Absolutely. Yeah. You had to.
I don't know how you do that with like just a few hours of sleep, but you're getting pretty good at it, man.
Practice.
Yeah, that's it.
Lots of practice.
Because you've been in radio now, what, 65 years?
Well, not quite that long. A couple days.
So we have a good friend of mine that he's
Mm-hmm.
supposed to be a guest, but he's caught up in this traffic and this rain. When it's raining, it's so stupid and crazy. I'm driving down here and I see state troopers are pulling a bunch of people, and then, oh my God, it's an accident. No, we're at a standstill. I finally get to it. It was the gawking the sea from the other side. So people just come to a standstill so they can just get a stupid good look. What do you think that is? It's like, wow, someone has it worse than me, and that's what they do?
They need to pay attention to the road. Now, I was coming from the other direction because, lo and behold,
right, from the north, right?
Right, because no, I mean, I was in Stewart, okay, at home taking a little nap before I got here, but then I realized, I said, wait a minute, I don't know how many guests Denny's going to have today. I forgot to ask.
That's right. You never know, but I guess the weather scared him away.
I forgot to ask you, so I had to run back. Well, use a car, but go back to Fort Pierce and get 2 more headsets. And I was, man, I hope I'm going to make it here in time. And I did. I made it in plenty of time.
You made it great. Okay.
But on the way back, like you're talking about it, and I had a former colleague that used to call the people sugar people when it rained.
Why?
Because they would just be very timid. And,
rain. Listen,
down.
People drive like lunatics anyway. The problem is they're used to being right up someone's tail, right?
Yeah.
So they give themselves, I don't know, 2 seconds to react. It's already raining. That's how the accidents happen. Or they go by. If you're doing the speed limit, folks, be careful. They will run you over.
Oh, yeah.
Except when it rains. When it rains, people get into comas like they just took a few Quaaludes, okay? They come to a screeching halt. I guess that's good, right? Not to be reckless.
Yeah.
But I mean, geez Louise, 10 miles per hour in a 50-mile-an-hour zone or something?
On 95, the safe speed is not 15 miles an hour. I just want to let you know.
They're trying to get good looks. I don't know what the hell it is. And if there's an accident on the other side, they have to stop. Take a Polaroid of it or something.
Take the phone out.
Right. And then they punch it and everything.
Anyway,
we made it safe. As we leave, who knows what that is. So, the fundraiser we did was unbelievable last weekend. We raised $15,000.
Nice.
Gordon and partners were there. We had 3 World War II veterans in the house, brother. You know how rare that is?
Yeah, very rare.
And they all had their marbles. I mean, they were smarter than 70% of the people we see on TV today.
Now, you said that you had an individual that that was 101?
101, Carmine Yanata, yeah.
The other ones, they had to be in their 90s.
They're not
somewhere.
far behind, exactly. Yeah, so 3 World War II veterans. We performed. It was a long day. It was very successful. And, of course, Ed had a good time at the show. We roasted him slightly.
Perfect.
He probably wondered, what the heck did I get myself into? I'm here for Gordon and Partners, but maybe I shouldn't say that out loud. Marla, of course, is out there having fun. Her and John, they have a good life, They go on these little excursions.
That's great.
Go on a voyage here, a voyage there, go on a cruise ship.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why they have their own podcast, The Hamster.
That's perfect.
You ever thought about doing that?
Yeah, I did, but you got to think about what they call in the business the shtick.
Oh, right. What's the stick? Right.
Yeah.
He's someone different.
Right.
Well, we're different because we stay away from politics and religion because people are so emotionally attached to it.
Oh, my.
And I tell you, I don't want to have an argument that it sounds like I'm talking to a coffee cup, right? A lot of people are set in their ways. I'm open-minded to a certain point, which reminds me, I do a lot of reading and I found some good stuff, some things to live by. One of the things, especially in this crazy world we have, is to be open-minded and be willing to alter your beliefs with new evidence. You would think that would be obvious, right?
You'd think.
But people are so stubborn, they just don't want to change what they've been accustomed to believing, or even worse, their favorite talking. Oh, yes, let's leave family out of this, okay? Just in case they're listening. But Oh, yes. Oh, my goodness. You're going to be roasted for that,
I
bud.
will be.
But I don't know. When you get new evidence, you should be open-minded to change your mind, right? I do
think
it all
so.
the time. There's no
Sure.
shame in it.
Yeah.
Like, it's like, wait a minute. I can't admit I'm wrong. Yeah, I was wrong, and I'm happy about that. So now I'm going to change the way I'm thinking. What is it with these people? You give them new evidence, and they go, yeah, I don't know. I'm going to still keep doing what I'm doing. What do you think that is?
That's the definition of insanity.
The same thing and expecting
Right.
different results.
Right.
But here's what it is. If you really want to grow and develop and have a good, happy life, you've got to be open-minded. Otherwise, you're going to be closed down for stupid reasons, right? Another thing I saw is strive to understand what is most likely to be true, not to believe what you wish to be true. So, the mirror does a good job for that for me. Okay, when I take my I got to work a little bit more in this part over here, or there's the face and everything. But that blows my mind too. A lot of people, they don't take a self evaluation of themselves, and I think you should. What do you think about that, Ray Thomas?
Well, I'm going to tell you that my mirror is laughing at me right now.
It's just
No, because I had an instance where, I mean, I've been thin most of my life, and I gained about 50 pounds in the last 8 months. And
why?
they don't
What
know.
happened?
They don't know.
They don't know.
We're in the
You
process
just
of.
it wasn't like pizza, chicken wings, cake,
I
ice
did that. I
cream.
did that all the time.
12-pack of beer.
No, I don't even drink. So there you go. I used to. No more. Yeah.
Okay.
But no, they're going to figure it out. We got to figure it out. But yeah. And I look in the mirror. I'm like, how did that happen?
Exactly. Right.
Oh, here's one.
What?
You'll love this.
Okay. I want to see. Is
Yeah.
this a reality check? Or
Oh,
you're
yeah.
just looking to say you're
Yeah.
going to show me.
Oh,
I love your high school picture where you have all the froze going, dude. I mean, that's just oh, that one.
Now this is
now
too
Ray.
Funny. Now this
I
is
wouldn't
too
flaunt
funny.
that to too many. That's your brother.
No, that's me.
Oh my! You look just like Michael.
That's terrible. He's got a big, thick beard now, Michael.
He does look like.
But I saw this picture, okay, because I had to, flip it for a new address. They took a picture, and I said to the lady, I said, "That's not me. That guy is old." And
well, this is what I'm saying. Mirrors and pictures do well to keep us grounded.
Yeah, right.
Because think about it. There's a lot of people that think it's okay to be confident, but man, their self-perception is, I don't know where it is. And I say, I don't know what you're smoking or drinking, but you better cut back on it, okay?
Yeah, think.
But anyway, while we're waiting for John, and John's a CPA, he's also a fellow Puerto Rican. He makes good coquito. And some of the things I always read, I know, there you go. He looks just like him. I find this interesting, this quote that I read. It says, God is not necessary to be a good person or to live a full and meaningful life. I hate to be judgmental, but I have that saying of religious kooks where if you don't believe the same as they do, or you question any that, they're not nice to you. Well, you don't have to be a religious person to be nice to other people. John, you made it. Oh my God. Yes. So he's here. John Adams. Now, Adams, that's not exactly a Puerto Rican name, dude.
No.
Where'd you get that name?
Actually, my mom is last name is Ojeda. So
right. So where'd you come up with Adams?
Well, my dad's an Adams.
Witness protection, right.
Absolutely.
So, John, I was just going over some things. So, John's a great friend. We refer clients to each other. He is an actual CPA, but you would never guess this guy's a CPA. Why? Because he's in good shape, fairly good looking, and he's got style. So, John, besides a CPA, you've done a lot of speaking in colleges. Tell them the background a little bit about you.
Well, first, thanks for saying fairly. That's good.
I don't want people to think we're,
just kidding. Yeah, so I lecture at universities, spoke at several local organizations here on topics of taxation and all kinds of different things. I've been a professor, like Denny.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Your credentials make you nerdy, bro, but I know you and you're not nerdy. So what's going on with that?
Yeah, my whole thing is, Denny, and you've known me for a while, is just I like to get the information so I can help people, and I try and learn as much as I can so I can bring back that information to the people to basically benefit them and do the best that I can for them. And I know that we share that in common, and it's one of the reasons why we've become, friends, is because we both have the same business philosophy about caring about our clients, giving them the best information that we can, and trying to help them the best that we can.
Exactly. I mean, I didn't find out how stupid I was until someone else did my taxes. And then I went, "Oh, shit, I thought I knew what I was doing."
Yeah.
Same thing with, financial planning and investments. Yeah, sure, you can do it yourself, but it's true. A lot of what we do is govern behavior, right? Hey,
Hmm.
listen, it's your money, it's your life, but here's what's going to happen if you don't listen to me.
Exactly.
So,
Exactly.
and I earn my money by giving you proper advice. Like,
Right.
what would I do if it were me? And a lot of people need to understand, and we talk about that all the time. We don't
Hmm.
sugarcoat with clients. And investing, there's only so many reasonable ways to go about it. Everything else is like, throwing darts against the board, and I'm just not into that. And so you're also helping run the CPA chapter in West Palm Beach now,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. So I'm part of the board of the directors for our local West Palm Beach FICPA chapter. With the focus, oddly enough, not oddly enough, but of being in charge of educational programs and bringing educational programs to CPA professionals in our area, as well as bringing in guest speakers, which Denny has been
Yes.
a guest speaker for us about some of the topics that he talks about on this show. And again, going back to the importance of it, and again, Denny is a very studious person as well as I am. And that's the key to bringing good advice, right? Always staying current, always staying on top of the most relevant information that's there. I know, I'm here to talk about some tax topics. We'll probably talk a little bit about this
Yeah.
big, beautiful bill coming up. And, some of the things that I really would like people to know and some of the mistakes that I see people making that they should know and seek the help of a professional.
Right. You don't know what you don't know, so you have to get a professional because look how many people still business owners are not aware of defined benefit plans, how they can put more money away when they've already maxed out their 401ks or their IRAs. And because they're always, hey, John, I need to spend less in taxes. What can you
Hmm.
do? And there are a lot of vehicles. It's funny. Mark Breckbill, I don't know if you met Mark. He's a good friend of mine. He also has, is Mark still got a show here at the station?
Not currently, not currently.
Okay. But Mark, I love speaking to him as well. He's a pretty cerebral fellow as well. And I know him. I first met Mark through music because he helps promote a lot of music in the area. I mean, Stewart is well known for great talent. I mean, there's so many great musicians and venues here. You'll never be bored. I mean, seriously, down to little small speakeasy types to big open air clubs. And of course, we're surrounded by beautiful water. We're going to take our first break and come back with Friday at 5 with my good friend here, John Adams.
He rocked the stage. Now he's rocking your weekend. It's Denny Artache. Fridays at 5. Your weekend starts now. And we'll be right back.
At Artachi Financial Group, we really go out of our way to make our clients feel different. Different because we're fiduciaries that work for you, not any insurance company or fee-based company that's out there. So if it's investing basics, income planning, long-term care, disability, Medicare, Social Security, how to take care of your family, succession planning for businesses, insurance products, we have it all, and we explain it to you simply. And we are fiduciaries. We do work for you, not any other company. So give us a call at the office at 561 537 5897. That's 561 537 5897. Advisory services offered through Blackridge Asset Management, LLC, a registered investment advisor. Securities are offered through Peak Brokerage Services, LLC, member FINRA SIPC, Blackridge Asset Management, LLC, and Artachi Financial Group are separate and independent entities from Peak Brokerage Services, LLC.
Spotlighting Martin County's events, energy, and entertainment. It's Fridays at 5. on 1450 WSTU. Call us at 220-9788. That's 220-WSTU. And now, your host, Denny Artache.
All right, we are back at Friday at 5. And you know, John, you also love music, and I keep forgetting to plug myself. I'm going to be doing a very cool jazz show this Sunday with Allison Briggs. She performs Tavern on the Green in Manhattan, New York City.
wow.
She's an amazing artist, and we're going to do some duet stuff, and I'm looking forward to it. If you're listening, it's going to be at Wolfie's, starting at 5:30. We're going to do some nice jazz standards because I like to stretch my palate. You saw my 4-piece band, which is a great classic rock bluesy band. The Santana Project is coming up again. It'll be September 4th at Double Roads, but we're also going to play at Terra Firmata on the 20th and the Funky Biscuit on the 25th. I don't know how I did this, but I have 8 shows in September. I think I'm going to get psychiatric help for that.
Well, you know, it's funny.
It
Everyone
snuck up on me. I don't know how I did that.
Well, the thing is, people love you, Denny. So every
Yeah,
time I
sure.
go, hey, you know what? I've gone to Terra Firmata, and they think you're the hero. I mean, all the awards that you've won, being invited to the International Jazz Festival. I mean,
The
hey,
blues.
give yourself some credit, right? He's a great performer, and for all of you, if you need something to go see, I mean, live music is always a wonderful thing to do on a Sunday, right? And I can tell you, he puts on a show.
Well, we just like to mix it up and have fun, and I do enjoy it. It's certainly there's no money in it. Let's be real. I mean, there's not. When you see musicians making a living, please tip them. They're working their butts off, and they should be making more money. And I get it. I understand the club owners. You have to make X amount of dollars. It's if the numbers don't add up, you can't pay more. But that's where the patrons can tip and put extra in the bucket to offset what these musicians who do this for a living. So, John, before we get sidetracked, absolutely, man, you're a CPA. Let's talk about this big, beautiful bill, for lack of other words, that is coming out. I there's got to be good and bad. I want you to talk about the tax part. I do see that it's probably going to add a couple trillion to the deficit in the next 10 years. But talk to me about what you see, what may be obvious or not so obvious for anyone listening out there.
Yeah, and you're absolutely right. I mean, there's estimates in there that'll add to the deficit, but I really want to focus on what it means to the people that we talk to in our audience on a personal level.
Sure.
One of the questions that I frequently get, especially recently, is my Social Security tax going to be free? And that was on the table for the bill, and people were expecting it. Maybe some people who haven't gotten updated on like how the actual bill came out. And so, I mean, they tried to make good on their promises, but they also, again, people have to understand that basically taxes are the revenue for the government, right? And we have a certain level of spending that we do on different programs or whatever. And there's on the other side of it, there needs to be revenue, which is our taxes that comes in there, right? So we get into this big, beautiful bill, and we're in a state of compromise, right? State of compromise between how do we cut enough taxes for, the American citizen, and how do we continue to fund our government.
But they did not pull the trigger on making Social Security tax free.
Yes.
However, did they not increase the standard deduction, which kind of like it does offset? I mean, part of the logic was, hey, let's raise this. What is it now for a couple? Isn't it like 30,000?
Well, so what came out in the big beautiful bill is an additional $6,000 in a deduction. So
and you have to be 65,
right? So you have to be Social Security receiving.
So that's
Social
what I'm saying.
Security
That's how they. I think that's a way that they backdoored it without just saying, "Hey, all taxes are free," because
they realized that they couldn't afford it, and that's what it came down to. I understand. I mean, there's a lot of clients that come to me and they're like, "Hey, we were already taxed on this money, and now we're taxed again. What's the deal?" However, with that being said, I'm sure many of you guys have seen in the news where there's estimates that Social Security is going to run out. Obviously, it was it's getting backfilled, right? So people retired first, and now we're funding the money. The problem is and they realize this actuarially, if they would have cut the taxes completely on Social Security, that bucket of money probably would have run out sooner. So the choice is, do I take a little bit and get a little bit of tax on the money that really technically is being taxed twice, or does that bucket of money go away and I have nothing, right?
So that basically the shortfall was originally supposed to be 2035, where if they change nothing, they'll only be able to pay out 70% of the obligations for another 90 years.
Yeah. And that's the crucial reason why people need to speak with someone like you, Denny,
Yeah,
because the problem is obviously number one is there could be a shortfall in Social Security that they're
there could
receiving,
be,
right?
yes.
So they're going to have to find other forms of income replacement to basically fund the shortfall. The second matter of fact is looking at your distribution strategy and making sure that your retirement distribution strategy falls to within those windows of the tax, because obviously your Social Security is still going to be taxable,
Exactly. But
and so you
my
got to
question
make
before, what is the standard deduction for a couple? I think it's up to 30,000, isn't
right.
it?
They've
So
raised the
think about
standard
it that way.
deductions as well,
You have
right?
no many people don't have 30,000 worth of receipts. And I only state this because of course people think that tax cuts are only for the wealthy. That's not true.
Mm-mm.
Most couples do not have 30,000 worth of receipts, write-offs.
Right.
So then you're 65 and you throw 6,000 on top of it. That's how I think they were trying to offset. Well, we can't wipe out taxes, but this will help
Yeah.
because
So
if
there,
you're
it
in a
was a
certain
relief.
bracket, you know, you'll be fine and better for it. So, what else about the big beautiful bill that you think that you've been getting calls about? And
Well, so there's still some provisions that were carried over from the previous tax bill before this big beautiful bill.
okay,
Um, and one of the things is, backdoor Roth IRA conversions to avoid IRMA, as well as the increase in Social
and
Security
for those
tax.
who explain to Irma, for those like, what's Irma? I used to date an Irma.
You
Is
said-
she still around? I
or a
mean,
grandmother and aunt named Irma, right?
exactly.
Yeah, no, it's not a person, it's a
No, it's not
thing,
a person,
right?
right? It's a thing.
So
Well, yeah, that's who I dated. They're saying no.
yeah. So basically what happens is your Medicare premiums after you start to receive a certain income level start to become greater. So
In other words, they charge you more, folks. You make more, you pay more.
you
Real
make more,
simple.
yeah, you make more,
That's
they
the
pay
Jersey
more.
mob boss,
Yeah.
description of it.
Exactly. I mean, their version of it is, hey, if you're getting enough of,
You should pay
from
more,
other
right?
things, you should pay more, and
Correct.
you don't really need the subsidy that, the government's giving the people for Medicare. Again, unfortunately, just like Social
Yeah.
Security, it's kind of like a tax on top of a tax that you've already paid, and I can understand the frustration with it. But as you know, there's a few factors that obviously are affecting both of these things: longevity and the
Absolutely.
fact that
Yeah.
the medical costs are rising.
And there's
So,
more people in grabbing at that pot of gold, so to speak.
right.
Now, they did not extend the opportunity zones, did they?
No.
So
So,
this is going to be over. And for those listening, if you had anything of value, you could kick the can down on the taxes. And 5 to 6 years ago was kind of, wow, that's great. Let me invest in something to gain some of the money I'm going to need to pay the tax bill. It's still there, but it's over in 2027. So what does that mean? You could have a stock portfolio, jewelry, a car collection, a guitar. No, don't sell your guitars. And you want to sell it, but want to absorb some of the tax bill. The opportunity zones are over in 2027.
well, and you bring up a good point, and I kind of want to state this too: is like this is for these reasons, these changes, the things that came in the big beautiful tax bill are the reason right now, probably now more than ever, you really want to come in and see a financial professional, because there are these sunsets that are happening
Right.
in a lot of these tax laws. So there's a lot of moving parts that are going to be happening with phase outs and different things and all these provisions that really most people, they do tax preparation. So tax preparation is looking back, right? What did I do the previous year?
Right.
Right? Very few people, they should be, but they're not. Very few people are engaged in tax planning, which is, hey, we know opportunity zones are expiring. We know that we may have RMD distribution strategies that we're going to be in charge of in the next few years. So what can I do now to mitigate some of the tax exposure that basically I have in the future, right? And that involves tax planning, involves getting with a
Exactly.
professional
Yeah. And
and
it's
doing
not
that.
just for them, John. It's the next generation. We're going to have in the next 10 to 20 years somewhere between 87 to 130 trillion dollars going from the hard working to the thank you very much. you
Yeah.
know, and that distribution is going to be an issue. That's why I'm excited about the new division I have that I've invested. I have my own attorney, my own trust company, my own business development team and marketing, because it is as I was training and thank you for the compliments that you said, dude, how did you find out so much about trust now when a month, 2 months ago, you were like, ah,
Exactly.
so well, they trained me and got me involved. And as I was peeling the onion back, I'm like, whoa, but you live this. Look what happened to you. Your dad passes away.
Mhm.
You think he has a CD in the bank, right?
Right?
He doesn't structure it correctly because that's the other thing too. Some people put their name on it, but somehow the bank may not. They didn't recognize it, and you waited
Right.
what 6 months to get that money,
Exactly.
and you
Unfortunately, my dad left the beneficiary part
he
blank.
left it right. Exactly.
So normally a CD is a direct transfer or whatever, but again, that's one thing. Why do you meet with a state? Why do you meet with a
Right.
professional to make
Exactly.
sure that there is not a CD out there that you own that doesn't have a beneficiary because it's been reviewed by a professional like yourself?
So a lot of people they think a will is enough. That's all they need. Nothing could be further from the truth. A will means you're going to probate. So here's the other thing. A lot of people think, yeah, you got to be rich for an estate problem. No, if you have assets. I mean, if you let's say you have $1 million, which come on, today most houses are 5, 6, 7, 800,000,
Yeah,
right?
especially in Palm Beach and South
Then you've
Florida.
got exactly right. Then you've got some investments, money in the bank. So you know what? I got a will. I'm cool, and I've got like $1 million in assets. So the fees go from anywhere from 3 to 8%.
Mhm.
So, in other words, you're okay with paying $40,000, $50,000 potentially for probate fees and waiting 6 months or longer.
Yeah.
I don't know about you,
Well,
but I'm not okay with that.
and having your property listed in the newspaper too, right?
Right, for all the
So
grubby hands. So,
everyone gets to know that you've died and your house, your house is
back then they
being
would have to
valued.
physically come to the courthouse. Now they just do it online. So that's
Yeah.
exactly right. Billy Bob from some, town in the Midwest or somewhere or Northeast. Hey, John said I could have that watch. So yeah, I'm going to
Exactly.
contest that will. It's true. And do family members get funny when it comes to money?
Yeah.
Tom, Ray,
Yeah, both,
you
both,
know this, right?
both of us agree with you.
Yes, exactly. Because it's so true. I mean,
It happened to me.
they
Yeah.
can't agree on anything, and
Mhm.
that's another thing about our program that you can get a corporate trustee, not someone in the family. Like, who the heck would want that pressure anyway, right? And so a lot of people have been interested in this, and you were a testament when I told you about it. You said,
Mhm.
"Yeah, Denny, a lot of people need that." It all goes planning goes in so many ways. Taxation and the distribution part is what's crazy because they passed that new law where now non-spouses have to spend it down within
10
10
years.
years.
Yeah. And the other thing I will say about that too is recently I've dealt with a lot of, unfortunately, my clients that have passed away, and
Yeah.
now they pass that money down to their children, right? And they don't realize what, the typical advisor, not Denny, but other people are like, oh no, you just need to take 10% out of that IRA for taxes and you're good, not realizing that we live in a progressive tax structure. And if you take it all out at once, guess what? That 1 year, you're like in the 37% tax bracket, right? So people just make huge mistakes. And I've seen people not, after the fact,
Well, the natural
unfortunately.
inclination is that's free money, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know. Yeah, I'm paying 35 per yeah, I know, but give me my money. That's okay. Yeah, don't worry about it.
Exactly.
Pay me now.
And the and the
It's
one
like I didn't
thing
earn it.
the one thing, Denny, that you said that stuck with me is, with these trust provisions, and that's kind of different than a will, right? With a will, they could
Absolutely,
just,
yeah.
if your child and you just have a will that person just wants to convert all of it, they just do it.
The A will is in instructions, but it still will go through probate because
Right.
that's what they do. The judges have to see it. There has to be a reading of the will. It You publicly state that you've passed away, and then yes, all the people. Palm Sunday happens. Okay, they
Yeah.
got it all out. I love Ray Thomas, man. We used to hang out all the time. Ray, I want your car.
Exactly.
Ray,
Ray said
I
he'd give his
want your
car to me. We
car.
were, and all he was doing
Give
is
me your car, Ray.
he had a few drinks and he handed him over the car keys, right?
But there's a lot, and again, when you look at what's going to be transferred over, there's the biggest transference of wealth. The funny thing is also, I know you get a lot of people that want to go into conversion strategies.
Yes.
That can get pretty muddy.
Yeah, absolutely.
you know.
And it's funny. I had a client in a very high tax bracket earning a lot of money right now doing conversion strategies, and I was like, you realize that you just taxed yourself like a huge amount of money on that.
Why don't you wait till maybe you're retired or in a lower
Right.
tax
So
bracket?
generally their strategy, exactly.
Yeah.
You retire, you're in a lower tax bracket. It's generally better to do these conversions than
Correct.
trying to do it, when you're making $1 million.
But it's preached the other way. And
Yeah.
you know what's so funny? When I was doing the workshops, you noticed I made a lot of annuity jokes, right?
Mhm.
Because you go to a lot of workshops and it's about annuities. They don't tell you it up front, but well, folks, the best time it takes social annuity. And if you wait till you're 70, annuity.
Yeah.
But they need to understand that modern thinking doesn't work. Kind of like you have to watch that a lot of people are not actually in a lower tax bracket when they retire. If they have a lot of retirement accounts, a pension, okay, and they're drawing money from their investments.
Exactly.
They're not necessarily, and then the IRMA thing kicks in.
Right. And that's the thing, and that's where a good strategy comes in, because the bottom line is, can you convert your assets into things by A, using a trust, B, using the right kind of investment vehicles to maximize. And I tell a lot of people this. Generally speaking, just generally, right? Everyone who has assets, they've done a good job, especially this generation.
Yeah,
they've done a
good
great job of
accumulating.
saving and
Absolutely.
accumulating. Most of them will most of my clients will way outlive anything that they've ever accumulated, right?
Pretty much.
So it's not really the tax problem for them that they're solving. It's a tax problem for the future generations. And that's
Exactly.
where making sure that you have the right forethought and planning, using vehicles like a trust. And I kind of wanted to circle back to one of the things that you said in your seminar that really stuck out with me, especially considering, is how you can control spendthrifts, right? And use these trust provisions to make sure that someone doesn't make a blundered move by taking, let's say you leave them 375,000, taking it all in 1 year and causing them a huge amount of tax. You can dictate that more through a trust with a will. They're at their free will, if you will,
exactly.
to just take that money
free
out
beer,
and do whatever. Yeah,
free
beer.
Yeah. That's exactly right. Distribution planning is going to be the most challenging going forward because, as I stated before, it's free found money. When you find $100 bill on the floor, it means a lot less than you had to work 3 hours to make that $100 or whatever the hell it is. Just a different mentality. And I know that most people with the assets do want to control. I don't want my kids to spend this in a year or two of what I worked hard for all my life to accumulate. It's just
and Denny, what was the statistics that you gave us? How long before someone runs out of money?
Of it doesn't matter whether it's 100,000 or 10 million. 70% of the assets are gone and spent within 18 months.
18 months. So can you imagine your hard-earned life?
That's what I'm saying.
You've done this your whole life, and in 18 months. And the crazy thing is, I mean, to lose, and the people who inherit, to lose a third of it to taxes because you just pulled it out all at once is just insane.
Not just taxes, divorce, lawsuits. This is where the trust comes in. I mean, one inexpensive backdoor way to guard your assets were annuities. Okay, let's say the A word, right? That is one reason why somebody bought annuities. But there were more the short-term annuities, not the ones that tied up your money until Nixon got back in the White House. Annuities are creditor proof. Well, the trust is creditor proof. Not many people want annuities, and the trust, you have more options, obviously. The annuity basically states, hey, this is my beneficiary, and I want you to pay him out in a lump sum or in 10 payments, however you structure the annuity. But the trust has so many moving parts and levers. It's kind of like a lot of people have these retirement accounts that they don't really need the money and they're going
Right.
to leave it to their kids. Well, they're already 73, taking out required minimum. Why don't, hey, how's your health? There's more and more seniors are understanding that they can invest those RMDs and leave an even bigger gift for the beneficiaries. Tax-free money.
Mhm.
Tax-free. You got to qualify. That's just one
There's nothing better than
strategy.
that word, right?
Tax-free is
Especially
yes,
free, right? We're the
exactly.
land of the
But
brave and the home of the free, right? So
exactly.
getting some free money is always
I think we
good.
flew the coop from England over taxes, didn't we? Right?
Yeah, exactly.
And the bad food. I don't know. So yes, if you want to know more, the office line is 561-537-5897. 561-537-5897. John, who do they call if they want to talk to you about, tax planning? What's your
Sure.
office
Yeah.
line?
So we are located in Jupiter, Florida, in the Alhambra Plaza. Beautiful walk to the beach in my backyard. So our phone number is 772-267-7644. And our website is www.bridgewater, T as in Tom, F as in Frank, C as in cat.com. So Bridgewater Tax and Financial Consulting. And again, we're here and we work with professionals like Denny. And Denny's one of my favorite because there's two things about Denny. Denny is educated and Denny cares about his clients. So it's always a pleasure to
Well,
work with
thanks.
professionals
I'm
like that.
always looking to find out what's new and different, and that's where you and I first clicked because
Mhm.
we're trying to think outside of the box. And any profession you do, you've got to study it still. You can't be complacent and comfortable. There are always new things coming out, new trends,
Mhm.
and people's priorities change. The way people are thinking now are a heck of a lot different than they were 10 years ago. That's a fact. It could be because of social media, it could be longevity, what they're watching on TV, their personal health.
Mhm.
A lot of things change, and you have to be able to. There's still a lot of people who are afraid of the market, but they don't want to just make 3% on their money because they
Exactly.
know that they're not going to outpace inflation. There
Mhm.
are different vehicles that you can do that. And you do have to think outside of the box. And it is amazing when I started getting into this model, how much I found out that people don't know, because the simple fact is 40% of the households in America have a will. 40. And uh, 80% or more do not have a trust. So what does that mean? That means the vast majority are not prepared for the inevitable. I know we put it off because we're all going to live forever, but in this day, driving on I-95, maybe not so. Health changes, and I'm not trying to be morbid because there's a lot of things that are, you can get sued in this day and age, and your
Mhm.
assets are, not protected. We're going to take our next break and come back on Friday at 5. Beautiful rainy day.
He rocked the stage. Now he's rocking your weekend. It's Denny Artache. Fridays at 5. Your weekend starts now. And we'll be right back.
At Artachi Financial Group, we really go out of our way to make our clients feel different. Different because we're fiduciaries that work for you, not any insurance company or fee-based company that's out there. So if it's investing basics, income planning, long-term care, disability, Medicare, Social Security, how to take care of your family, succession planning for businesses, insurance products, we have it all, and we explain it to you simply. And we are fiduciaries. We do work for you, not any other company. So give us a call at the office at 561-537-5897. That's 561-537-5897. 5897. Advisory services offered through Blackridge Asset Management, LLC, a registered investment advisor. Securities are offered through Peak Brokerage Services, LLC, member FINRA SIPC. Blackridge Asset Management, LLC, and Artache Financial Group are separate and independent entities from Peak Brokerage Services, LLC.
Get your weekend started right. It's Fridays at 5. Local fun, fresh laughs, and feel-good vibes right here on 1450 WSTU. Here's your host, Denny Artache.
All right, we are back on Friday at 5. So you were asking me something. I don't want to quote a price on the air, but I can tell you that we come in a lot less than a traditional law firm.
Yeah.
And
I can tell. Sorry, I
No,
I don't mean to
go
cut you off, but I can tell you, the people that I have referred to Denny have gotten quotes from different people in the community,
Yeah.
and then they've spoken to Denny. And there's a few things, right? I joke around. There's a few reasons people are scared to get a trust. One is the price. One is
Right.
people don't like talking to attorneys. Not everybody likes talking to attorneys,
Exactly.
right?
And then, they don't, believe it or not, they don't like to deal with their mortality. Think
Yeah.
about rich people, James Brown, Dr. Martin Luther King. His estate wasn't settled 55 years. It was in probate.
Yeah.
I mean, that's disgusting that it went so long. But think of all the stars: Elvis Presley, Michael Jackson. So many they had the money, they had the attorneys, but they put it off.
Exactly.
But you're right. They don't like talking to attorneys, or it's an emotional thing. But you don't want your family to get jammed up and dealing with probate, because it could take years. You're going to pay a lot in fees. And we do it. It's an estate portfolio, meaning what's great, along with my team, with my attorney, my trust company, my business development team, and all that, it's one price. Because life changes, and all the changes you're going to make going down the road, unlike a traditional firm. And I am not bashing law firms, because it's kind of like, I'm not upset that there's discount brokerage firms out there.
Right, yeah.
Okay. I'm not a trader. It's not, you want to trade for $20? Knock yourself out. Go to Schwab or Fidelity or any of those other places. Oh, I just gave them a plug, because that's not what I do. And, there are certain trusts that perhaps certain attorneys have, especially, but I can tell you, I'm pretty confident with my team that it's a traditional along with a special needs, and it's price pointed where no one should. I mean, we even have payment plans. How ridiculous is that? So the excuses should be gone, because it's really simple. If you have assets you want to protect, you love your family, and you don't want to squander your wealth, you need to call us, and we need to talk about it. And if you're not broken, I won't fix you. I have a few families that came into my office that actually they didn't need a trust.
Yeah.
All they had was one property, no other assets. So then I said, hey, maybe all you need is a ladybird deed.
Mm-hmm.
So that won't deal with probate.
Right.
But the vast majority are not in that. They don't have one, two. They have multiple assets, and they've got family members that need some help.
Exactly. You got brokerage accounts, you got bank accounts, you
correct.
got CDs, you got all kinds
And
of
the
stuff
other
going
thing,
one way and the
estate
other.
planning deals with other things too, like the medical directives, power of attorneys, simple things that you wouldn't think of, like, hey, your kids are off to college, they got into an accident, they're in a coma, and you can't tell the cops what to do because they're over 18 and HIPAA violates it.
Exactly.
Well, our portfolio covers that. How about if you're a couple where one of them becomes I hate to say coma, but I can't think of anything more. They're unable to do things, and you need to have access to their retirement accounts unless you have the power of attorney. So estate planning, as I've jumped into this, it encompasses so much.
Well, and Denny, it's, that's such a good point. And we talk about resentment, right? Resentment
Yes.
between children. Having some of these things can split up some of the work too. So, for example, like in my perfect world, like my son is studying finances.
Oh,
My wife, my oldest daughter is studying medicine. So guess what?
yeah.
My oldest daughter can have my medical directive. My
There you
son
go.
who's studying finance can have my finance directive. and now the burden of taking care of me has been offloaded, so one sibling doesn't resent the other for, hey, I'm the one doing all the work here, I'm the one taking care of all the medical, and we're all getting everything equal, right?
Exactly.
So
But these are the things that you have to get in place. We live in a crazy world. I mean, I always say, I hope you don't need any of these things. I hope you never have to make a decision for your loved one's medical health or the legal part of it. A lot of kids and siblings get divorced. Now the spouse is entitled to half of that, or people sue you. We live in a litigious society. We have to protect our assets, folks, if
yeah.
I may stutter on that. But on a personal note, dude, you like to cook and you make like the best coquito out there. Tell people
Yeah.
what, because we're both of Puerto Rican descendant. Tell people what, if you haven't had coquito, you're not living, folks. So
Yeah.
tell them how you make it.
Well, it's funny. It's a family recipe that we've had for a long time. And one of the things is, and Denny knows this about me, I love entertaining. I actually just
You
got,
do, yeah.
I got so I make some meatballs and stuff. Usually during Christmas, we do a great thing.
Absolutely.
One of my clients sent me a pot of, a picture of a pot of meatballs that they just had a family gathering that they thought of me. So I thought that was pretty
Yeah, but
entertaining.
talk about your coquito. Tell them what it is, man.
Yeah. So coquito's unique. It's a drink that, as Puerto Ricans, we have that during the holidays. It's coconut eggnog, and it kind of sounds maybe a little bit different because you're like coconut and
Coconut
eggnog.
eggnog,
Yeah, it's
yeah.
kind of doesn't seem
But
like
that's the
something that would work
translation.
out.
It's not eggnog, though, right?
Right. It's not. It's not typical eggnog that
So
we
how
would
do you
have. It's
make it?
made. So it's coconut rum, brandy, cinnamon sticks. There's a process. It's quite
And they
the
wonder
process.
why Puerto Ricans are hot-tempered, right?
Yeah,
You know,
yeah,
we point with our lips.
exactly. So
You talking to me, huh?
it's quite the process. I mean, you got the double boiler going, a whole bunch
Exactly.
of
You got the
things
double
going.
boiler, you have the
Yeah,
coconut
you got the
and the ice.
coconut
You
and the
gotta shave
ice.
the ice
Yeah,
and mix it. All right. You know, there's a few places where I don't know if you know, but there's a Latino place that has chicharron right there when you walk in.
oh
And it
man, there's
slaps
nothing
you in
like
the
a smell
face.
like hot
Man, and they
chicharrones.
cut it
Yeah,
up, and they've got I think they have the sofritos, and what the hell are they talking about on that show?
yeah,
It's that ethnic. You would like it. I've met few people that have arroz con gandules and stuff for that, and they go, "Yeah, that's not good." Or have a pastele,
yeah.
right? Or an alcapurria. You can't eat that stuff all the time because we'll be Sherman Clark.
Yeah, but it's a wonderful treat to have, especially during the
During the
holidays.
holidays, right? Where
And it's
everyone gets
very,
fat anyway.
yeah, nostalgic, and it goes back to the way that me and Denny do business. We treat everybody like we have parties, we have these events. Denny has these wonderful shows that he does that he invites his clients to. So
They love it. It's really amazing because the looks on their faces. Because think about it. I get up on stage. I'm built like a linebacker. Like, what's he going to do? He's going to sing and play? Yeah, right. Let me see.
yeah,
Then I start playing and singing. They're like, no, no. And not that I'm God's gift to music, folks. I don't suck at it. That's how I like to describe myself. And I like to entertain people. And I like to get
Yeah.
into it. And they sense that. They sense crowds and they know when you're into it or if you're
Absolutely.
just going through the motions. So that's what they sense. But I think they get a kick out of that. I literally can go from Sinatra to Led Zeppelin, depending on who's on stage with me and how much alcohol is being consumed in the audience.
Yeah, absolutely, right.
I'll break out a song just to see the expression on their face. Like, wait a minute, you okay? I drink, please.
Exactly. Yeah. But I mean, it's part of the atmosphere, part of, it's what I like about Denny is, there's the professional aspect, but there's also the personal aspect. And, it's always fun to be around, spend time with him in his office, meet some of his clients. They're generally pretty relaxed, and
We like to have fun. Yeah, my office is not that threatening, stuffy. It's casual. We did it that way. I like people. In fact, I think you and I discussed this because I have so many nice suits. I probably have 150 ties. And when I made that flip, I was asking my clients, "Hey, I like this better? The polo shirt. You're more relaxed, easier to ask you a question, so to speak." And that has changed. It used to be you had to dress to the dimes or people weren't giving you money.
Mhm.
And I'm like, really? Look at Bill Gates. look at the Tesla guy. Look at a lot of these people that figured out. No, sometimes, I mean, I do like suits. I like to dress
Oh,
up, but
absolutely.
to think that I have to do that to be a financial, I made that flip a long time. And you do the same thing, right? You don't
Yeah.
wear the suits for your
Yeah.
clients,
No,
right?
no. Well, and most of my clients, like you said, they prefer
A
a more
casual,
we're
right?
living, you
We
know,
live in Florida,
we live
South
in the
Florida.
South Sunshine State, right? So
Yeah.
people like to relax and come in and be in a warm and welcoming environment.
And I got to tell you, if it was 40 degrees, I'd probably wear suits. But when it's 90, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
That polo, I sweat more in other places than I do at the gym in the morning because
Exactly.
it's hot. So I
Yeah.
don't want to put on a big coat and it's just
And that's the thing, right? I mean, taxes are a stressful thing. Getting your
oh my God.
getting your trust is done a stressful
Dude,
thing.
this is the calmest I've seen you.
Yeah, right. But
until like April,
yeah,
you're like, oh my
running
God.
around like
I don't
crazy.
know how you guys do it. Seriously.
Yeah. But
when does it pick up again?
Oh, it's already. We got the extension season coming out.
Right.
Corporate extension date 9/15. Personal
For the
extension
corporate,
dates
and then
10/15. So
10/15.
we're still going at it. I'm in my office. I took a break here to be with Denny today because I appreciate him
I'm
so
glad,
much.
man.
But I'm here.
Glad you came here, and
7
Marla
days a
would
week.
have liked to ask you because she likes food and money. She likes to talk about both.
Yeah.
But her and John are having fun. I can't wait to hear what they're doing and getting into. I told her not to go back to LA because every time she goes to LA, some bad stuff happens. So I think they're out in the Caribbean somewhere
Oh, wow.
or Mexico, and she's always a blast and a hoot. And Ray Thomas, I want you to try and get more than 4 or 5 hours of sleep. You might feel better if you do that.
Maybe, huh?
Yeah, you might feel better. I mean, try it.
I'll give it a shot.
When's the last time you had more than 5 hours sleep?
Been a long time.
Yeah. So try it. You might like it.
Maybe.
But you're on the air tomorrow morning, aren't you?
Yeah. Well, yeah. It's 8:00. It's not too bad.
That's our radio
that's
morning,
like
right?
sleeping in,
Yeah,
right.
we're
No, because he
morning for
gets up
everyone
like
else.
Franny. Franny gets up at 3:30 to go to the airport. That's
yeah.
when you're up, right?
Yeah, 3:30. But Saturday I get to sleep in till 5.
Dude, the birds like are cracking up as you walk by. Look at this guy. We're chilling out. He's getting up. I think that wraps. Hey, John, great to see you. Come to the next show. We got some great shows happening in September. If you're out there, folks, make it a great life, okay? Because you deserve it. And we'll see you next time on Friday at 5. Thanks.
That's a wrap on another ride through the heart of the Treasure Coast. You've been tuned into Fridays at 5. From finance to local talk and everything in between. We hope you're heading into the weekend just a little bit wiser and a whole lot more entertained. Big thanks to you for making this the best hour of the week. We'll see you next Friday, right here on Martin County's Heritage Station, 1450 WSTU. Stay safe, stay smart, and stay tuned. You've been listening to Friday at 5 on WSTU Stewart. Fox News is coming up next.